Hello, and thank you for choosing to spend your time with us on another edition of Population Timeline, the weekly half-hour program which comes to you from the National Population Commission, the Nigerian government agency which provides demographic data for national development. I am Nkechi Okeshola.
National Population Commission, providing demographic data for national development.
I want to urge you, please, in our various places, let's try and mobilize people to come out and be counted. It is very, very important. We have done the groundwork. We've done the enumeration area demarcation in virtually every local government. It is going to be the best because it's going to be scientific. It's going to be electronic, no paper, pen and paper. Nobody is going to influence the outcome of this census, because what we have put on ground makes it very, very difficult for any attempt to tamper with it. We use satellite imageries that shows the various features of every area. We are able to know the number of houses in the country as a whole and what uses, the roads, the bridges, all those are taken care of, the schools, the hospitals. So it is not just counting people, we're also taking the housing stock, which is very, very important. And with this, we can use them for so many things. Not just conducting census or carrying out surveys. We use this for even security issues.
Census Track is brought to you by the National Population Commission, the Nigerian government agency that provides demographic data for national development. The National Population Commission is conducting a trial census in all the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory from 11 July to 30th July 2022. The exercise holds in selected 285 local governments and the Federal Capital Territory as follows: Abia, Bende, Ohafia, Isikwato, Umuahia North, Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South, Osisioma, Obinwa, Ugunagbo, Akwa Ibom, Ibionibo, Uran, Uyo, Ini, Abak, Etimekbo, Eket, Okobo, Nkwadeni, Adamawa, Tungo, Anambra, Idemili South, Bauchi, Toro, Tafawa Balewa, Kirfi, Darazo, Ningi, Dambam, Zaki, Itas Gado, Giade, Bayelsa, Brass, Benue, Kasinala, Kwande, Ushongo, Guma, Gwe West, Gwe East, Ado, Oju, Obi, Borno, Nganga, Morte, Kukawa, Jere, Kala Belge, Ngala, Biu, Chibok, Howell, Cross River, Obudu. Ugoja, Bekwara, Ububra, Boki, Yakur, Bakassi, Calabar South, Odukbani. Delta, Sapele, Ethiopia East, Ugeli North, Anyocha North, Ndokwa East, Oshimili South, Warri South, Isoko South, Bomadi, Ebonyi, Izi, Ohauku, Abakaliki, Eza North, Eza South, Ishelu, Afikpo North, Ivo, Onisha, Edo, Eastern Central, Eastern Northeast, Igwebe, Esako East, Esako Central, Owan West, Ovia Northeast, Oriowo, Ikpoboha, Ekiti, Moba, Ikole, Oye, Ado Ekiti, Irekpodun, Ifelodun, Ijero, Emure, Ishaorun, Boyin, Enugu, Nkanu West, Enugu North, Isiuzo, Ezagu, Oji River, Udi, Udenu, Uzowani, Ugweze North, Ako, Yemal Deba, Beleri, Shongom, Balanga, Nafada, Kwami, Duku, Imo, Ngokbala, Ikeduru, Abombise, Ohajegbema, Oguta, Olu, Ishalambano, Obo, Onimo, Jigawa, Breninkudu, Duse, Miga, Malamadori, Hadeja, Breniwa, Kazaure, Megatari, Babura, Kaduna, Makarfi, Zaria, Kudung, Chikum, Kaduna North, Igabi, Kashia, Jaba, Sanga, Kanu, Warawa, Garumalam, Minjibir, Dambata, Bichi, Kunje, Bankure, Rano, Kibia, Katsina, Daura, Kebi, Bagudo, Argungu, Suru, Aliero, Gwandu, Meyama, Yori, Shanga, Zuru, Kogi, Adavi, Okehi, Ajokuta, Ibaji, Omala, Ida, Mopamuro, Yagba West, Lokoja, Kwara, Baroten, Boro, Edu, Asa, Ilorin South, Ilorin East, Oyun, Ekiti, Okero, Lagos, Apapa, Lagos Island, Surulere, Kusofe, Ikorodu, Ibejuleki, Ajeromi Ifelodun, Alimosho, Ikeja, Nasarawa State, Nasarawa, Karu, Niger, Boso, Gurara, Tafa, Borgo, Agwara, Wushishi, Kacha, Mokwa, Edate, Ogun, Imekwafun, Ondo, Ose, Akoko Southeast, Akoko Northwest, Idore, Ondo East, Akure South, Eseodo, Ileoluji Okegbo, Odigbo, Oshun, Boluaduro, Borikpe, Oshogbo, Ife South, Atakumosa East, Obokun, Ejigbo, Isokan, Iwo, Oyo, Ogolua, Lagelu, Oluyole, Iwajowa, Itesiwaju, Atisbo, Ibarakwa North, Ibadan Northeast, Ido, Plateau, Shendam, Kwampang, Langtang North, Mungu, Bokus, Pangshing, Jos East, Basa, Birkinladi, Rivers, Port Harcourt, Ikwere, Okrika, Kana, Oyigbo, Tai, Ahwada West, Boni, Degema, Sokoto, Godaba, Wurno, Raba, Silame, Wamako, Sokoto South, Shagari, Tureta, Tambuwal, Taraba, Ibi, Wukari, Takum, Sardauna, Geshaka, Kurmi, Karim Lamido, Yoro, Ardokola, Yobe, Yunusari, Gaidam, Gulani, Jakusko, Karaswa, Yusufari, Nangere, Fune, Potiskum, Zamfara, Zormi, Shinkafi, Perenimagaji, Gusau, Bungudu, Maru, Anka, Bakura, Bukuyum, FCT, Kwagwalada, Buhari, Abaji. Chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasir Isakwara, is appealing to all Nigerians to own the exercise as their own personal project and contribute towards a reliable, credible, and acceptable 2023 population and housing census by presenting themselves to be counted once only. Remember to be part of the Trial Census. You count, be counted.
June and July are the months of the Trial Census, and all stakeholders of the National Population Commission across the 36 states and the FCT are working overtime to ensure success of the exercise. All the selected 285 local government offices of the National Population Commission have been busy since the Trial Census commenced on the 27th of June with the training of field functionaries. All the 14,461 functionaries have been working on the Trial Census. Chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasir Isakwara, had earlier addressed a press conference in relation to the Trial Census, which ends on the 30th of July 2022.
For this trial census, the specific objectives are as follows: to assess the quality and the usefulness of the enumeration area maps that have been created during the enumeration area demarcation, to determine the possible demographic as well as geographical changes that might have occurred in the enumeration areas carved out between 2016 and 2018 and their implications for census taking, to also determine the feasibility of uploading enumeration area maps on the census apps for house numbering and household listing, as well as population enumeration, to also determine the correlation between the enumeration area demarcation estimated population and the pre-test enumerated population, to also determine the requisite educational qualification for the 2023 census enumerators, to also determine the appropriateness of the estimated workload on the enumerators, and finally, to determine the necessary logistical support that might be required from states and local government.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the National Population Commission for using technology to conduct a digital census that will give Nigeria accurate figure for planning and enhancing national development. He expressed his joy in Daura when he received the Chairman, National Population Commission, and his entourage. The President set a very good example when the new digital equipment was used to list and number his house in Daura, Katsina State.
We are, carrying out the census preparatory activities. The President graciously approved the conduct of census, National Population Housing Census, in April 2023, and part of the preparatory activities is the enumeration and demarcation, which we have done. We have also done first and second census pretest. What we are doing now is the trial census, which is the dress rehearsal, and it is ongoing throughout the country. Here in the northwestern geopolitical zone, we've chosen Katsina State to do full-blown local government census. And in Katsina State, we've chosen Daura, which is a border local government with Niger. Then it is also has a rural setting and has also an urban setting. Those are things that we normally want to test. And here in Daura, where we are now, is President Muhammadu Buhari enumeration area in Daura. And in the enumeration area, his house is, the President's house is number 1. So what we have done today is to do the house numbering and household listing, which the President graciously agreed, and he provided the information. And this is to showcase to Nigerians that it is an important exercise and everybody should embrace it throughout the country. We are doing this census for Nigeria and Nigerians. We're not doing it for Mr. President, but Mr. President is giving us the support to do this because Nigeria has stayed for a long time without accurate population and housing census data. So we're happy Mr. President has been given this support, and we urge all Nigerians to give the support to the Commission and its functionaries whenever they come calling to be able to get the data that will analyze and prepare for national planning for the development of this country. We will test all our instruments and methodologies, the functionaries, whether they are capable of doing this, and in the final census, we are going to test also the ability of these functionaries to be able to access hard-to-reach areas we have mountainous areas, we have riverine communities, we have areas that have difficult routes to reach. So this will be able to test the entire census planning and implementation, logistics arrangement, the equipment that we're using, the maps that we're able to create, whether they're all functional. So it is important so that we can know right now whether we have problem with some of these procedures or methodology or the equipment, so that we can take steps to correct them before the main census in April 2023.
Before leaving Daura, the chairman paid homage to the Emir of Daura, Dr. Farouk Umar Farouk, where he was decorated with traditional attire, and the traditional ruler wished him well in his efforts to give Nigerians quality data for national development. Based on the timeline of the trial census, building numbering and household listing held between the 11th to the 16th of July 2022, that is for 6 days. Validating enumeration area frames commences on the 17th of July and terminates on the 19th of July, being a 3-day exercise. Enumeration of persons will last for 5 days from the 20th to the 24th of July 2022, while the last item on the timeline is mop-up enumeration from the 25th to the 30th of July. Now, this question: why is there building numbering after completion of the enumeration area demarcation? Geraldine Ngozi Arukwe is the Director Cartography of the National Population Commission.
We do building numbering and household listing because we want to get the updates of the situation on the field. You know, Nigeria or everywhere, things change. After the EAD, there may be new buildings, and some we made during EAD may have been demolished. And sometimes we have building use change. A building that has been used for residential may now be a commercial building. So there is need to number all buildings on ground and list the households. Because during EAD2, we don't list the households. But before a census, or trial census in this case, we have to get a list of all the households that will be enumerated. What we do is, after building numbering and household listing, we compare the data with the data we got during EAD. That is what we do to validate it, to make sure that, for one, they're in the right location, and then check the extent of change that has occurred within the period.
How will it be carried out?
It is, we have a validation tool. So it is done in the system. Once we get the building numbering and household data, we'll run it in the system. We'll run the tool. That's it.
Okay. And how will the enumeration area digital maps be useful during trial census?
It will be very, very useful, because it is those enumeration area maps that we use to assign functionaries to the field. We'll use it to know how many functionaries we'll send to a particular local government. And then those enumeration area maps will also show them the extent of work they will do. They will know where to stop, because the enumeration area maps have boundaries. You know where to stop and where to end. So it helps us to make sure that everywhere will be captured and enumerated just once. So enumeration area maps help us to make sure that we don't have gaps and we don't have overlap. It helps us also in logistics. When we're moving people, we need to know how many enumeration areas you have in a particular place. That way, you know the transportation issues you're going to take care of. You know the materials you're going to distribute, how many materials, like now we're using PDAs. That will help you to know how many PDAs you're sending to a particular place. And then you do it all with enumeration area. Even after census, when you're talking about dissemination or analysis and dissemination, it is those enumeration area that we use to do all of that.
Nigerians who frequently travel and hardly stay in one place have nothing to fear as far as the trial census and the 2023 Population and Housing Census is concerned. This is because the National Population Commission has made adequate arrangements to capture them. A training of trainers for the identification and mapping of special population groups across Nigeria was held in June, and those that were eventually trained are among the 14,461 functionaries currently working on the trial census. Bintu Abba Ibrahim, Director Planning and Research of the National Population Commission, focused her paper presentation on the methodology for identification and mapping of special populations. Federal Commissioner representing Enugu State, Ejike Eze, who is Chairman, Planning and Research Committee, spoke during the opening ceremony.
Special populations, as you are all aware, for the census are persons requiring peculiar procedures to enumerating them. These categories of persons are usually not easy to definitely track during enumeration. As a result of this, the Commission is developing strategies to improve the coverage and enumeration of these special populations in all parts of the country. These categories of persons include, but not limited to, migrant farmers, tenants and owners, nomads, pastoralists, mobile hunters, fishermen, offshore workers, census functionaries, homeless persons, transient persons, refugees, and internally displaced persons, IDPs. The Commission, in collaboration with the UNFPA, had organized a training and conducted a pilot in 6 states in all the seasons of the country to test the methodology and tools designed for the exercise.
Other dignitaries emphasized the relevance of the 2023 Population and Housing Census, where all Nigerians have to be enrolled.
And the goal is that everybody must be enumerated. And another one is that we want to make sure that National Population Commission collect and produce quality population statistics that will be useful and acceptable to all stakeholders.
The identification and mapping of special population is one that is critical to the success of the census, particularly given the nature of our socio-cultural environment in Nigeria. Very often, when we publish some of our household surveys, questions arise about how we have factored in this category of persons. So we are pleased that this population is being adequately covered in the census process.
Nigeria is blessed with 3 nomadic groups. For the people that did not know, it's pastoralists, migrant fisher folks, and farmers. And they have been there in the interior, serving Nigeria in their own way, giving us meat, giving us food, and giving us fish to refresh us. But in the scheme of things, we have not been recognizing them. That's why I give kudos to the Commission for remembering our target group. This workshop is apt.
It's a very important exercise because not all censuses really capture this. We want this census to be not just digital. We want to make sure we count every person, every person.
We do hope that you enjoyed this edition of the program. Remember, you count, be counted. The trial census is on. I am Nkechi Okeshola. Bye for now.